Vampire Academy is the best-selling series that's now a new television series coming to Peacock on September 15th. Kieran Moore and Andre Day Kim here to chat all about it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Obviously, there's online hype and fans are excited online, but let's talk about the experience of San Diego Comic-Con and actually getting to go there, preview the series, talk to fans. I mean, what was that whole experience like? Because I mean, that's huge right there.
Dream come true, right?
It was a great experience, especially for a first time. Fans were so supportive. I had a great cast and people to go with, and just surreal. It was
Memory of a lifetime, right?
Yeah,
I think I'll never forget that. And I think it was so interesting because we're a news show, right? As much as the book audience, it's a news show, and I don't think many people knew we were going to be there. And it was nice to see people get intrigued. It was like, I like the sound of this, and that was nice. It was really nice to get, sort of see that change and shift in the audiences from the days as they went on. Because by our third day, we was being approached and talked to about the show, and that was it was so engaging. It was so nice to feel so well received. And I mean, it was pretty cool to just sit on the Comic-Con stage that I've seen so many like stars sit on. Yeah, it was quite humbling.
Oh my god, yeah, it's Comic-Con. It was just Comic-Con, it was amazing. Yeah,
because obviously, there's fans of the books, there's fans of the movies. As far as this series going along, I mean, did you realize the love, especially maybe on social media, some of the messages of people who are anticipating the series coming to life?
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, I was kind of blown away by like how receptive and supportive and how many fans they were, even when the show hadn't aired, like even when we just first started filming, there were people like just keeping along with our everyday life in Spain. It was like having our own like Spanish like vlogging channel about us that we weren't doing anything for. It was crazy. And what else is pretty crazy is how like international these books are. Like we have fans from Canada, the UK, the US, Brazil is huge.
Brazil's huge.
Brazil. Shout out Brazil, Argentina, Italy, like all these different places. And I think it was really nice to see that, these guys will all be like, you'll be a global outreach for these people, and it'd be nice to have fans and have all these like
bit of a shock, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew the books were pretty like successful, and I knew there was a fan base, but when I got cast, I did not realize how much these characters were loved.
Right.
Like, I was just a normal kid in Manchester. Well, I'm a normal kid from Manchester, but like barely used Instagram, had a couple of like 1,000 followers. And then now it's like, oh, I'm in Spain 3 weeks later and someone's made a fan account and posts all my Dimitri content. I was like, and I'm speaking to these people and it's like, oh my God, you are the sweetest person. And you're just invested in what I'm doing because I'm telling the story of one of your favorite characters. The passion is just admirable, when people love something so much like that without any expectation or return. It's just I think there's something to learn from that.
Normal kid to rebellion.
And speaking of favorite characters, let's talk a little bit about the character of Dimitri and what can we expect from him.
I think Dimitri comes with his own mysteriousness. I like to think he's a character that kind of just comes in and out, he's kind of there. He's very observant. He kind of sees a lot. He's around a lot. He's very much rooted in his faith and his job in society. And that, I think, has taken over a massive part of his personality. And I think for a long while we think, oh, is he this rigid man that has nothing else to him? But I think beautifully we get to go and explore that there's much more underneath that. There's a vulnerability, there's a danger, there's a man that's struggling with his own identity, as Andre often reminds me in beautiful words. But it's a journey of self-discovery between what you are bred to do, brought up to do, and what you want to do, and the choice between that. It's always a moral battle for him. All in the name of love, how far can love drive you?
Yeah, that's so true.
Oh, exactly, because his exterior is very different than the interior that I think that we're going to be seeing his journey throughout the season. Let's talk a little bit about the role of Christian. Andre, tell me a little bit about him, because he's got just as many layers as Dimitri.
He does. One could say he has more lately.
I would argue.
I think, like Kieran, I almost called you Dimitri right there. I think Kieran said it best. It's like driven by love and then battling with your own moral obligations versus like what you were bred to do versus like what you want to do. And identity is a big thing for Christian. I think hope is a big thing for Christian. That's a big like word that I used a lot for my process when studying him and trying to like come up with a character for him. Hope, light, jadedness, and this idea of like keeping a belief in people and in goodness while also kind of having the opposite thrown at you. And I think people will like see Christian unveil and kind of unravel as he meets more and more characters, which I think is the beauty of the show, is that these relationships kind of change every time that they come on screen. So I think it's just going to be a fun journey to watch.
I think Christian embodies all the questions that everyone asks. I think your character is the character that is challenging society and what
Yeah.
we brought up. Dimitri on the other end, like, no, save my ship. This is all I know.
Yeah,
And then these young school kids that are just like, no, this is wrong. This is not right. And then it's like this revolution idea, and it's about to challenge everything that they all know.
that's really true, actually. Yeah.
Melissa and Rose, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to see maybe in that first episode there, as far as how your characters both interact with the two of them.
Ooh, in the first episode, it's very like mysterious still. I think it's like the starting kind of point for a lot of them. I can say for Christian and Lissa, you'll see a very intriguing first meeting. You know, I don't want to give too much away from it, but I think it's a pretty cool entrance.
Lustful. It's
Yeah.
very enigmatic, isn't it? Like, I think theirs represents, you root for them two instantly, you know, like you see this connection. It's like, oh, they understand each other, and it's like so beautifully done. I think me and Rose kind of clash at the beginning, which I think makes for a nice bit of the difference is our relationships go in two different directions, right?
Yeah.
Which in the end hopefully come back as one. But yeah, I mean, I'm shipping Lissa and Christian. Absolutely. I'm a big fan. I'm like, yeah, I can't say.
I mean, I said at Comic-Con that I shipped Rose and Dimitri immediately, even though when I was reading the books, I was just reading it to get Christian's idea. Eventually, I was just kind of like, oh my God, I'm so into these two. I just wanted to get together
I
already.
think it's that beautiful thing of like, they both offer things in a yin and yang, each relationship.
Yeah.
But it does often make you think, are they the best for each other in both ways? In both our relationships, you can see you root for them, you want them, but it's kind of, it's challenging because they both have to evolve in order to grow. And
well, we can't wait to root for all the characters starting September 15th on Peacock Vampire Academy. Kieran, Andre, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Bye-bye. Have a
having
lovely
us.
day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too. Thank you.